I have never felt more alive than I do today. Staying away from all of those substances now for over 2 years.
A work in progress forever. I don't think anyone's ever gonna have it fully figured out, right? The truth is, a lot of my lows was my inability to cope healthily. All it takes is a moment, and like you make a couple bad decisions and everything changes. It's kind of like having like a scab. Like you want to pick at it, and then maybe you open it, then it's like an open wound, and then something touches it and it hurts again, but then it kind of like heals and you're good, but then it's a scab again. Lack of self-worth.
Lack of self-worth.
Still shows up. That's the truth. That's the truth.
I think that comes from a place of humility because you know that no one's perfect.
Correct.
And we all make mistakes. My intention for this podcast is to highlight mindsets that I connect with. And so obviously there's a lot of people who I haven't met yet and speak to who I'm going to have on eventually.
Correct.
But the people who I do know, there's, at least the people I know who I've invited on, there's something I see inside of them that stands out, that's different. And I think it's interesting how we tend to look outward into social media and, you know, into just the world, and we wish we could be closer to certain people, and we don't look at what's right in front of us. And a lot of times we miss these people who are right in front of us because we're looking so far out. It's kind of like, what do you call that? Like a whole, what do you call it? Like a water, you know how football fields have those water sprinklers that shoot out?
Correct. Yep.
And everything around it gets dry. It's only hitting far out there, like, 50 feet, 40 feet. That might be too long. But you get what I'm saying, right? Yeah. That's kind of how we are. I feel like we give our attention to things that are so outside of ourselves that we forget what's close to us. Correct. So that's kind of my intention. I want to bring people in, have conversations, conscious conversations, and showcase their mindset. What are your thoughts on that?
Love that. I mean, I love that, definitely. I mean, knowing that we do share mindsets, and even what you just said, there's certain things happening in my life that resonate with that, as far as like me looking kind of outside and not neglecting, but overlooking what's close to me for opportunities that I'm looking for. And it's been shown to me as within the last 2 weeks, just that. Where
Give me an example.
Specifically, I mean, like from a productive standpoint, like with training, just like obtaining clients, getting new clients, starting new business, holding a certain amount of sessions. I have a great base, I have great clients, and I'm like looking for new clients, when even with the clients that I do have, there's opportunity for more. And they essentially presented it to me before I presented it to them, where it's like, oh man, like I can already do this with what I already have instead of having to worry so much about what's outside.
Got it.
That's like legit happened over the last 2 weeks with multiple clients.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What does that feel like?
It's a nice feeling because one, it's like it shows that it shows how they value you, and two, like it's just that realization that you don't necessarily have to look so far out to get the things that you're looking for. Like a lot of times it's, like it happens when you're like at home, you're like looking for your keys, you're looking for your wallet, or like you're trying to get something and it's like hanging on your neck. You know what I mean? You're like looking for something that's on you already, and you're like, it takes you a few minutes. You're like, wait a second, like, oh, my phone's in my pocket. You know what I mean? Like that type of example is kind of like what comes to mind.
Got it.
What we need most or looking for most sometimes is right in front of our face, but we're like, ooh.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah. So Nemo, I've known you for what, 6 years?
2018.
2018.
2018, or maybe 2019. One of those two.
And you used to work with my girlfriend.
That's correct.
She's a coach. She was coaching you for a little while.
Correct.
Why did you reach out to her back then?
Why did I? Oh, we'll go down that rabbit hole. I was stuck emotionally.
Got it.
Yeah.
I won't go into those details.
Yeah.
And then you guys completed, and then she had suggested working with me.
Correct.
Then we started working together.
That's correct.
And I remember there was a certain point where you started to kind of go through a spiritual awakening of some sort. Like, I have a feeling that maybe you were already accessing that, but there was something that happened where like a lot of shit poured in. Like, meaning I remember you having a lot of downloads and you starting to see synchronicity everywhere.
Yes.
Numbers.
Yes.
And all these patterns sticking out. And you're like, bro, what is all this stuff? It was coming out crazy.
Correct.
What was that like for you back then?
Like a little bit overwhelming at first, but then it's also like, just like synchronicities, like what, you come to realize it's like, oh man, like synchronicity is like when things align and feel right. Like you receive information, you feel an alignment and you connect with people, yourself, others, like, it's just like a very in tune feeling. Like, and much of it started with working with you, truthfully. I had coincidences and stuff like that, and obviously I'm growth minded and I like learning and that was part of what intrigued me about furthering my development. And in that process is where like those things started to come to fruition.
Got it. Got it. I want to point something out. You highlighted something about you having a growth mindset and you have that hunger to learn. That's something that truly stands out about you. Like you do have that drive and that hunger to absorb information.
Yep.
And you don't just absorb it, you actually apply it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we all apply it perfectly. That'd be crazy because I don't either. But you do take a lot of information in. You do surround yourself with other big minds, books, education, and whatnot.
Absolutely.
And that's something that I do appreciate about you. Because there's a lot of people who, you know, they say they want to do better. They say they want to make progress. And the terminology they use is, I already know that. Yeah, I know that. Oh, I know. But then, like, why aren't you doing it, man?
For sure.
But I really do respect that. I respect you for that.
Thank you.
Have you always had that drive? Like that hunger for more knowledge and application?
I can say with confidence, yeah.
Yeah?
For sure. Yeah, that's something I feel that's been innate for me for as long as I can remember. I think when it came to like, I think the first passion that really opened that up for me was like music. In grade school, I started doing music like 4th grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade. And I was like, oh man, this is cool. And like from that, it was like doing extracurricular in that. And that's where like the desire to learn more and grow and be the best at whatever it is I'm doing. I'm talking about like playing the lap bells in 4th and 5th grade. Like I remember thinking to myself, like, I want to be the best. And like by 5th grade, I was. You know what I mean? And like that was in 5th grade. You're like 10 years old. You know what I mean? And that's something that just continued into middle school, into high school, through music, which was again my first passion, which eventually got me into fitness, health and fitness, where I'm at now. And even when I came to like work environments, working at McDonald's, like I was 16 years old as like a crew member and working my way up through like the McDonald's ranks, and it's just like work. You know what I mean? So it was always just like, even like being from Miami, one of the greatest examples I can use, because this thing that kind of surprises people, was my willingness to learn Spanish here. Like I know a lot of people who aren't family members, and I get where they're coming from, you know what I mean? However, for me, I was like, I saw it as a challenge, and I was like, well, I'm gonna figure this out. And like I get by here. I do pretty well, you know what I mean? So that's just like a couple little examples of like that eagerness and that willingness, and taking something that I could have turned into like a negative or be like, oh, I don't have to or whatever, just like whatever, like let me just go the other direction and be better and learn and grow. Life gets boring when you stop that, and for me personally, like then it's just like what are we doing?
Yeah, definitely. I have some more questions about that. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something else that I do appreciate about you and respect you for.
Yeah.
Your ability to bounce back after okay, so just like so people know, I know you really well.
He
Like
does.
we're actually really good friends.
We are.
And you know more things about me in some instances than even my own girlfriend knows.
Right,
And I know a lot about you too.
He sure does.
So we're
Absolutely.
very tight here, and that's why we're laughing here,
Yeah.
because like
We know.
I've seen you go through some shit, and
Absolutely.
I've seen you bounce back, man.
Yeah.
Like crazy, like skyrocket back.
Yeah.
But that's something that like that really stands out about you. You're resilient, bro. You are really resilient.
Yeah.
Like even though you can sometimes, like myself, we can dig our own ditches.
Yeah.
But you also climb out and then you
Right.
build something on top of that.
Yeah, I mean that's what resilience is. A lot of times we get ourselves into situations or environments that probably are not best for us, or whatever the situation or circumstance is, and then no one's gonna help you get out of it. Like you're the only person that's gonna dig yourself out of the hole, and it's like you gotta be resilient. And there's a lot of things we can look to and say how and where we build resilience, but that is definitely something that we both share, because I've seen you go through different things as well in the time that we've known each other. And I think that's obviously one of the connections that we do have, to know that we can go through stuff and we can still be resilient. We have like-minded people and community that's like, hey, like no matter what, I still got your back. You know what I mean? Like through thick and thin, through good or bad, like when you're down and out and no one's got your back, like whatever. It's not my place to judge you for whatever is going on, but just to like be that support and be that that love, essentially.
That's something I take close to heart, man.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that we've all done that are messed up, and then there's people who turn their backs on you pretty damn quick.
Yep.
I've had it happen to me, and I have my best friend back in California who has never turned his back on me. So like I know what that feels like to always have that. Like even my own family.
Yeah.
And I'm good with my family now.
Yeah.
But I've even had my own family that were like, you know what?
Space.
Yeah, I'm not gonna answer your calls. I'm gonna talk shit, whatever. And so it's nice to like have that support no matter what. But I think that comes from a place of humility, because you know that no one's perfect.
Correct.
And we all make mistakes.
Absolutely.
And it's just a phase. It could be a really long phase if
Yeah.
you choose to be, but it's something that we just all go through, and it's like it doesn't define you. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, like, dude, like all those valleys are I've after having to be so resilient for so long through my own circumstances and environments, like it's kind of like a springboard for the next thing, right? Like you're down and out, and it's kind of like you make what you can of it, but it's a great opportunity for you to like hit that spring and like catapult up, right? But it all comes down to you and the support you have around you, obviously as well. But it's a great opportunity when you're down bad to like it's not gonna get much worse, right? It's like let's dig out of here and let's do what we got to do and just be great.
Absolutely. I want to ask you something. What's one flaw, one thing that you considered a flaw that you now identify as a superpower?
One thing that was a flaw that is now a superpower. So is this like a transformation, like a transmutation of a thing? Like, because the first thing that comes to mind is I shared this at a event recently, back in December, that I had a mindset around, like, you know how they talk about cup half full, cup half full, cup half empty. For a long time, I realized that I was a cup half full type of person, which reflected in my reality, right? I thought people were more bad than good and things just came out that way. And then as soon as I realized like that was really just my own perception and I changed it, it's something that like transformed the reality around me. Like now it's like I see the cup half full. Like it's just how I perceived it based on a lens. And like when I decided, I made a choice to change how I believed in something, my belief, it transformed like everything around me. To this day, that's still like that's probably one of the bigger transformations of a very simple one, but like, dude, like game changing.
So like, a great answer, by the way.
Yeah.
One thing that I considered that I thought was a flaw back in the day was like having an addictive personality, which now I label as an obsessive personality. And I
like
believe
that.
yeah, because the addictive personality has this negative association.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like kind of like a dark cloud.
Yeah.
And
As soon as you say the word, people are like,
you're like, whoa, yeah, exactly. And so like when you have an obsessive personality, which is the same thing, like you're obsessed with that thing, you're addicted to it, you want more and more and more of it.
Right.
I just redirected it from that. I changed the wording, reframed it, and then own the fact that I do have an obsessive personality. Absolutely. And so then I can commit and go all in on what I love and what I want to expand upon. That was looked down upon back in the day because I was obsessed over the wrong things, rightfully so it was rightfully labeled, you know, something that was negative. But I've been told many times, like, Rob, dude, you lose yourself in this. Like when you go all in on something, like you forget everybody else. And I think that could have, that's true sometimes. And I like it sometimes because I don't need distractions. So that's what I mean, like something that I thought was a flaw that I now fully own as a superpower. I love that about myself.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant by that question.
Got it. I mean, I share that with you. Let me see if I can think of another one outside of like mindset, a flaw that became a superpower for me. Kind of stuck. Let's see. My perception of the world. I mean, I share that with you. What do you think? From when you look at me, because we did a couple coaching series.
I would have to say, just something that popped up.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I was trying to go silent in my mind, and
Yeah.
the first thing that popped up was, you tend to turn off your emotions and your feelings pretty fast. Go ahead, go off of that.
Yeah, no, that is true. Then the flip side to that is I'm aware that I'm so highly emotional that now that you're saying that, the switch is like the reverse of it, where it's like instead of being highly emotional, it's just like no emotion. And the term that comes to mind is like stonewall, whether it's like just in general or with a partner or whatever it may be. Like, for example, yesterday, I did not have a good day yesterday. And like, I was just like this, and I didn't want to talk to no one. I was like, kind of like, and the person I am, because I'm highly emotional, the people who are closest to me are like, what's wrong? You good? What's up? You know? And it's just because they know, and they're not wrong, but that is a tendency of mine in my emotionality and the spectrum of my emotionality.
Yeah, and so I see this as like a superpower for you, and maybe you might agree with this or not, but
Yeah.
like, because I kind of relate to this too.
Yeah.
Actually, not kind of, I super relate to this. I being able to turn off my feelings and emotions has me go into that mode of handling shit. So like if something is going to shit in my reality, I can turn everything off, all the knobs, boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
and I'm so laser focused now. Where people are like, "Dude, how are you doing this when this just happened?" Like, and it's there, like the emotions are there. I'm just not paying attention to them. I do come back to them later on, but it does help me perform at a high level. So
Yep.
that used to be, it can be a flaw still if I don't come back to the feelings and emotions, because those things that are buried alive, they never die. But it definitely is a superpower because it does help me and benefit me big time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like to piggyback on the superpower part of it, what has been reflected back to me is like in that ability to have those emotions and also like communicate them, feel them, and be aware of them is what allows for us to build really strong, deep, meaningful relationships.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that's what I've come to learn. I feel like that's my opinion. That's how I see it, because people feel and see that you care, right? So like when you're working with people, whether they're your client or someone that works with you or just someone that you used to work with in the past, like I've been getting this told back to me for years over my life, and like it's been a few times recently because I've reached out or connected with people I used to work with in the past, whether it was coaching or just work, and like just the things they would like remind me of who I am. Like that's part of it. Like the ability to build those deep and strong connections has to do with our ability to be aware and in control of our emotions. Yeah, have that
Yeah.
emotional intelligence and just awareness of like who you are and how you show up and how you can serve, and even when you're like shut down or shut off or you're fully there, like that has really helped me build meaningful relationships.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So much like a natural flowing conversation, we just kind of started talking and filming.
Yeah.
I didn't do any introduction, so we're gonna do an introduction now.
Let's do it.
Right? I'm gonna give my brief introduction
Perfect.
of you. So yeah, Nemo, we've been friends since 2018.
Yep.
We've worked together probably for a total of 3 years around there.
Yeah, for sure.
Have worked on a few different projects, you being the main project, but also
Yeah.
like a side hustle used to have before.
Correct. Yep.
And got to be a part of that from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And that, which is really cool.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
saw all of that and how
Yeah.
that played out. And yeah, you've also helped me with a shoulder issue I had a long time ago.
That's true. Yeah.
You're great at what you do, and you'll
Appreciate
get to
that.
share what you do in a bit here.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I actually could not raise my arm for a little while.
Right.
And then I went over to your house, into your garage. You had
Yeah.
me do some workouts.
Yeah.
This like YT thing
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And then within a few days, I was like able to do everything normally again.
Yep.
So thank you again for that, man. I'll
Absolutely.
never forget that.
For sure. No,
Because I was
it's-
actually low key worried.
yeah, no,
real.
I definitely remember that story. So yeah, just a little bit about me. I mean, a South Florida native. I was born and raised in Miami, the wonderful place of the 305. Shout out. Grew up in Kendall. Went to grade school. Music was my first passion, as I kind of shared. Kind of got lost when I got to college and university because I had to like change what I was doing, bounced around a little bit, ended up in health and fitness, and I've been doing that for like 13 years now. 2012 is when I started coaching, and I've done that in a lot of different capacities, from group to private to, kids, older, every capacity you could think of at this point. And yes, we did pursue a side project. That was a good time. During COVID, things got weird with the world and stuff like that. I had an opportunity to do something that felt right in the moment, and it was a great journey. It was very an opportunity to grow and learn. You know what I mean? Started a catering business, a vegan catering business. I went vegan for a while and decided like I was going to try this business. I went all in. You know what I mean? Like you were there, you were a part of it, and it was a great opportunity. It was not the first time I pursued entrepreneurship, and it's something that I love to pursue and learn and grow from, and that's something that's always been constant for me. But yeah, outside of that, coaching for, again, over the last probably about 13 years, and now I get the opportunity to be right here at Lifetime, and do what I love most with the people who see the value and that they trust me, and allow for me to help them be the best versions of themselves and transform their lives. And I'm very fortunate to work with some amazing people, and I'm just grateful to do what I do. Like not very much of my job feels like work, and that you can't even put into words what that feels like. It's hard, like, 'cause what I see is most people don't get to have that feeling. You know what I mean? So I'm very grateful that I have that, and I want that for everybody. And I'm just, yeah, like I love what I do. That's me. Yeah, coaching, helping, sharing. That's what I am. That's why I'm a strength coach.
Strength coach, got it. And you went to UM.
I went to the University of Miami. Yeah, I studied strength and conditioning and fitness entrepreneurship there.
Can you say a little bit slower?
Yeah, I studied strength and conditioning and fitness entrepreneurship. So my grad program was like a split program. So we were very like half practical in a weight room on the field, doing practical drills, like lifts, coaching each other, like just growing in the practical aspect of our field. Also in the classroom where we did programming, periodization, and entrepreneurship. We had to build a full business model. We had to do budgets, taxes, liabilities, like the whole thing. We have, at the University of Miami, Brian Bujoli is our program director. He was my mentor and one of the best in the country. So very fortunate to have that opportunity. Well, I've been very blessed to be in the right rooms with the right people all along my journey. And I think, I'll give myself the credit to I had to do my part too, obviously. And that's what's pretty much brought me here to have a successful coaching career, 13 years in the game, because it's not easy. You know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
And it's challenging and it's rewarding. And
that's the trade-off of the reward, right? Like it's gonna be a tough challenge.
13 years as a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Damn, that's what's up.
Yeah, dude.
And you've worked at multiple places all around Miami.
Correct.
And then you had this opportunity at Lifetime pop up for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Because you've been here for how long now at Lifetime?
I started in May of last year, so we're looking at like 8 months, 9 months, something like that, whatever the math is. I got recruited by Jason Love. Shout out Jason Love. I did the marathons last year, went to the expo, picked up my bibs, ran into some trainers. They gave my information to the recruiter. Recruiter reached out to me, and I went through this whole process. I was really uncertain because I was happy with what I was doing, with where I was at. This was an opportunity that did present itself prior, but we talked about timing in the past and kind of how that worked. You actually
share about that, please.
You introduced me to Alejandra, our now GM. She was the PTL at the time, our lead. And I was kind of like in between working here and truthfully Equinox, and I had a connection there where I ended up working there. Didn't have a great experience, unfortunately, but now I can say with full confidence that was a necessary step in the process, so that I can be here now at what I'm certain is the right time.
Got it. Why do you say that was a necessary part of the process?
We started with kind of talking about the highs and the lows and the ups and the downs, and that was a down time for me, and it was kind of like an opportunity for me to come out of something I was in, and I thought that was going to be the springboard, and it wasn't. That's the truth. You know what I mean? I had confidence that it was, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And the truth is, if maybe I ended up here at that time, it might have ended up the same. It's hard to say because it's just like a what if story, but now I'm confident that it happened exactly as it was supposed to.
Got it. Did it take a good shot at your confidence and your perception of your value and self-worth?
Absolutely. Yeah. Without a doubt. And I was actually very transparent about that, even with my team. I came in with a chip on my shoulder because I went into the previous location thinking I was going to crush it, and it didn't work out that way. So I came in here if I fail this again, then it's on me. You know what I mean? But things worked out, and I was able to find success here.
One thing that really stands out about Lifetime, and this is from people I know, but a lot from what you and I have talked about, you guys all support each other.
Yeah.
There's a huge support system here.
Absolutely.
Where it's almost impossible to lose.
I agree.
You agree?
Yes.
Yeah. It's everybody's set up for success. The
Absolutely.
Resources, the camaraderie, the mentors, everything. The
Even
resources.
how they select. I think it starts with, and this is shout out to the culture here, how they select their people is not like anywhere that I've seen before. And I've been doing this for a pretty long time.
So why would someone lose in a culture that's set up to win?
They get in their own way. You kind of get in your own way. You don't follow the crumbs to success. If you're not gonna win here, from what I've seen, it's kind of your own lack of ambition or desire for the most part. It's you get out what you put in when it comes to this. You know what I mean? That's how this industry works, and nothing's given to you, especially when it comes to personal training. So you have to go get it. You have to be willing to learn and grow, right? When it comes to training or coaching, you can't be taught how to be a people person. That's my belief, my opinion. You know what I mean? It's either you know how to work with people or you don't, and if you don't, that's perfectly fine. This is probably just not the field for you. You know what I mean? But everything else is super teachable. Like you can teach anyone how to squat. You can teach anyone how to sell. Like those are all skills that you can kind of develop. The people part is a little different, but if you're willing to pursue all that other stuff, like you can figure it out if you really wanted to. And like it's shown time and time again in the last 8 or 9 months that I've been here through other people as well. Like some people come in and like they just do all the little things, you know what I mean? And like they win. And like if you again just follow the blueprint that's already been done, there's no secrets, there's no tricks, like hints or hacks. It's like just do what works. It's pretty straightforward.
What are some examples of like when you say people get in their own way? I mean, I totally agree with you on this. I think that's the case for every single person. We're all getting in our own way to a certain degree.
Yeah.
In this culture, and not just limited to this culture, but what you've seen within yourself and in life, like what are the top 3 things that people do to get in their own way?
A lack of self-worth is one that comes to mind. A lack of accountability is another one. Self-worth. Accountability, and then a willingness to go the extra mile, like a lack of willingness to do more. Like if you're only willing to do what's required, it's tough to win. You know what I mean? If you want to win big, if you want to be, you want to be somebody, you want to be the person that people talk about and that you want to make impact, you got to go the extra mile. You know what I mean? You got to build it.
Of those 3 that you listed, which one did you struggle with the most?
First one.
The first one? Which was what again?
Lack of self-worth.
Lack of self-worth.
Yeah.
And how did that show up for you in your life?
Oof. I mean, it still shows up. That's the truth. That's the truth. It still shows up. That's one of those that's like deeper, and I think anyone who deals with it, with I believe most people to some certain degree, deal with. It's training your mind. It's training your mind, your mindset, the lens that you wear to perceive the world around you. Yeah, like that's a work in progress forever. I don't think anyone's ever gonna have it fully figured out, right? It's like I was meditating on this just recently because I forgot what I was thinking about, but I was kind of like, okay, this thing like. But it was yesterday. It's like it's kind of like having like a scab, like you want to pick at it and then maybe you open it, then it's like an open wound, and then something touches it and it hurts again, but then it kind of like heals and you're good, but then it's a scab again. You pick at it. It's kind of like you might have used that analogy with me before, but like that's what comes to mind. You know what I mean? Like it's something that's always going to kind of be there, and it's like how are you able to manage it? And that's just through repetition and awareness and the willingness to do like that deeper work that I'm sure we'll talk more about, but. We know what that kind of entails.
Yeah, and so to kind of shift gears away from, I'm going to come back to this around like work and you being who you are as far as a personal trainer and whatnot. Where has that shown up in relationships? Lack of self-worth. Like how has it shown up?
Lack of self-worth in relationships.
And the reason why I ask that is because that is something, I put out a video last week about self-worth to some degree. I was talking about it a little bit, and I've been in about 7 or 8 different conversations where people had seen the video and they were like, I struggle with this too. And it's not that it's nice to hear that like this person's struggling or these people are struggling, but it's nice to hear that other people can relate to that because it's something that's so common. And I think that it's often overlooked because a lot of times like if we like text someone and they don't text us back right away, right? We start doing this in our head, ruminating like, what happened? Did they not like me? Did I say something dumb? Like that has to do with self-worth, right? So being sticky and being attached and stuff like that, and always questioning like, hey, do you still like me? Like, are we still good? Like that only comes from insecurity, right? That's why I'm asking, because it's more than just the people who had seen the videos. It's something that I coach a lot of people on. It's something that I hear a lot across the board.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the examples you use. I mean, even within like the last few weeks, like if I send a message, let's say it's to a client and like they don't respond in time or like they haven't reached back out to me in a few days, I'm like, is this person mad at me? Like, did I do something? Like, the wheels start spinning and you start overthinking, right? So I think that's one of the first things that happens. You start to overthink everything around you. Then you find out that conversation with the person. They're like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, I'm just gonna get back to you, whatever the case may be. But like self-worth in relationships, yeah, I think it puts us in the position to overthink things. And just kind of create these stories in our head that are not real, and then we like ruminate on these stories, and like then it may change the relationship with that person because you're uncertain. But I think the takeaway here is like it's all in our head a lot of times. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the most interesting aspect of it, and it's just like these old wounds again. It's like you have an open wound, and it's kind of like someone puts some alcohol on it. You're like, ooh, I like feel that, you know. You're like something comes back up. You're like, then you start to think about it. You think about it. And you're like, oh my god, like why am I tripping? You know what I mean? Like, so as far as relationships, I think yeah, it just creates like this like story in your head that is not there, which can ultimately affect the relationship, whether it's client coach relationship, an intimate relationship, a friend, a family member, whatever it may be. Like my sister doesn't text me back, like, what's up, dude? Like, or we haven't seen each other, and it's kind of like, are we cool? Like, but like obviously I know we're cool. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like little things like that. But that's like you know, a constant project. That one's always gonna be there. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Speaking of relationships, there have been quite a few females who have asked me about you. Yo, what's up with your boy Nemo?
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you who asked that, so don't ask me, Nemo.
Okay.
But what are certain qualities, for the ladies, right? What are certain qualities that you find attractive in a woman?
Yeah. Okay, it's definitely self-awareness. Like, I love an intelligent woman too, obviously, like with my growth and learning mindset. I come from school, like I probably went to school for too long, but someone that's self-aware, so they're like, can acknowledge their own shortcomings and like their wounds and stuff like that. Intelligence is extremely attractive. Coming from health and fitness, someone who values their personal well-being and like actively is pursuing that in their life and not just talking about it, right? Earlier we talked about it's easy to talk, so it's like, are the fruits of what you're saying on full reflection? So like intelligence, yeah, self-awareness, emotional intelligence, so like EQ, IQ, there we go, let's just make it real simple, EQ, IQ. Someone who has a relationship with God, like, you know, that divine being that created all of this, right? It's no mistake, and that's just, you know, my belief. We don't have to preach too much, but yeah, so like a form of faith, EQ, IQ, like those are the three like first non-negotiables that certainly come to my mind, and like that I've become very clear about, so I can at least, you know, create that first filter where it's like I'm not gonna dabble or waste my time in something that I'm certain like there's no alignment or like a lack of alignment for the sake of whatever pursuit.
I got it. And then what's the biggest turnoff in a female?
Oh man, I almost want to be diplomatic because everyone calls me diplomatic, but like a lack of accountability, to be honest. Like someone who can't take ownership for themselves and all their stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
What does that look like?
what does a lot of talking, like talking without action. Yeah, talking without action is the first thing that comes to mind, because in my experiences, it's not uncommon to meet people who can walk the walk, but when it's time to like, I'm sorry, talk the talk, but walk the walk, it's kind of like there's no alignment. You're like, man, you were really good at like talking this through, but when like push came to shove, it was like, this is actually like evidently not true. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that is something that unfortunately, I'm not gonna say like everyone's like that. You know what I mean? But that's just something that I've experienced a couple times where it's like, ugh, it's kind of like sucks because it feels like a waste of time. But that's why like being clear about things that are important to you and also like what you don't want is super important, and something that I've learned along the way, so I don't waste someone else's time as much as like wasting my time. And I think that's something that's transformed for me as well. Is like I might find someone interesting, but as much as I don't want to waste my time, I equally wouldn't want to waste their time. So I know if like like why even like start going down that road, you know what I mean, at this day and age.
I think about like lack of accountability and lack of ownership is also, it includes also someone who is constantly explaining themselves to justify their actions or non-actions. You know, so also, you know, like what you said as far as like talking too much and not doing, but it's like not doing and then justifying why you didn't do it, and just own it.
Yeah.
Like you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like you don't need an excuse for everything. I find that very annoying.
Yeah. So like that's from a mindset perspective, it's almost like victim, right? Like that would be victim. So because of my desire for development, learning, growth, you're able to more easily recognize those things
Hmm.
as far as like when they pop up. Um, but yeah, that's definitely what comes to mind. That's definitely what comes to mind.
Are you single?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
Yeah, by choice?
Yes.
Are you looking to get into a relationship?
Yeah, I'm certainly open to dating. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
With the right person, you know.
With the right person?
Yeah, of course.
Describe the right person.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
The right person. I mean, man, I'm like those three things that are my non-negotiables are like the first three, and like if you can check those three boxes, like after that, it's like I feel like that's easy personally, because those three together, little I don't want to say they're not rare. It's just a little more less uncommon, I guess, to have the I guess a nice balance of those three. That's where I would start. You know, I mean, everything else outside of that, I believe is secondary, right? So if someone again has like a form of faith that's important to them, they hold on to something that's higher than them, emotionally aware, intelligent, and then also like IQ intelligent, like has some sense of knowledge and base and desires learning and growth, right? Because those are things that are important to me. I'm not saying they have to be like exactly how I am and whatsoever. I think having contrast is actually quite important, but the health and fitness too, like someone who's pursuing their personal well-being, like they care what they put into their body, they care how they treat their body, like that's super important for the purposes of longevity and living a long and healthy, happy life. So those are the things that stick out to me. You know what I mean? Like I'm from Miami, so I have a natural inclination towards Hispanic women, but that's not like it's not like an exclusivity, right? I'm just from here, so it's what I do know. Um, those are the things that like are really important to me, to be honest, man. Like outside of that, like I'm pretty open.
Got it. Got
Yeah.
it. You were talking about, you mentioned right now, people who care about putting what they put into their body and they value health and they're pursuing the fitness part.
Yep.
To shift gears a little bit into like perfect, we're talking about perfect woman, right? Perfect clientele,
Yeah.
right? I'm all about having an avatar, like really knowing who you want to work with.
Yeah.
What makes a great client?
What makes a great client? Someone who's able to make decisions and not like be on the wall about something, someone who's certain about what it is they want, someone who understands the value of their own health and the willingness to invest in it, right? Just like how I would, let's say, invest in my learning or growth or business, like the awareness that your health is your health is the most important thing when you don't have it. So, you know what I mean? Like, if your health is not well and that's the most important thing, it's probably a good idea to be proactive about what that looks like for you, whether it's personal training or not. That's a separate conversation. But those are the ones that stand out to me. You know, I have some really good clients. I have some that are couples, sisters. A lot of like been fortunate to like connect with people like that, where it's like these people just understand the value of health and their own health, and they trust me to help them and be a part of that journey with them. So I've been, yeah, like that's, it's interesting because sometimes I get asked, do you train more guys? Do you train more girls? Are they older? Are they younger? And it's always kind of like, there's no like continuity among it. Like I have a little bit of everything for the most part. I'm pretty 50-50 in all of it as far as like guys and girls, younger and older. Like my youngest client is like 18, 19. My oldest client is like 60 something. And I'm pretty 50-50 like girls and guys. So the range, if you're just looking at like gender and age, like it could be anything, but it's more about like the mindset of the person, and is where I'm able to recognize like this will be a good fit, and that usually shows up in their language.
Their language.
Yeah.
Like how they talk about themselves or about the reality? What do you mean by that?
So like, I mean, imagine like you're in a consultation. Like that's essentially what I mean. Like you're kind of like getting to know the person. Like when I sit down with someone, like, hey, look, I just want to get to know you a little bit, kind of like see where you're at, see how we can help you, how I can help you, what that looks like, kind of like deep dive into their past, see what they want to go, and like, can I be the bridge from where they are now to where they want to go? And is what they're reflecting back to me in the language they use, letting me know that they're a good fit for us, for myself.
Got it. So what are certain things that people reveal in their language? I know what language is, but
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
wanted to kind of like
Of course.
get a deeper understanding for people who are watching this. What is, like, when someone uses their language in the way they use it, how do you know that they're not a good fit? What are they talking about? Because for me, when I could tell right away how someone thinks, how they operate. I can easily tell why they're attracting what they're attracting into their life just by hearing them speak their language.
Yeah.
Number one thing that stands out to me is people who complain a lot, people who gossip a lot, because gossiping means you're still stuck in the past. You haven't let it go, right? So you're holding on to resentment. You have all of this baggage you're carrying on, and you're like walking around like, no, nothing's wrong, but then you're always talking shit. So those people who are always talking shit are always attracting shit. So that's my little input on language.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of other things too that stand out to me.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
So I'm trying to think of like keywords, but like you can usually tell when someone's always playing the victim, right? It kind of comes off as maybe like complaining or like, oh, this happened to me because of this. There's always an explanation for everything versus just like, yeah, I gained 30 pounds because I didn't eat well and I didn't exercise. Like if you told me that, I'd be like, we probably might be a good fit. Like you're aware of what's going on, you take accountability, and you're here, which means you're willing to pursue what it is you need to pursue. But when someone's kind of like, oh, well, you know this, and there's, again, it comes up with excuses. Complaining is an interesting one, right? In a discovery phase, that would be a filter. But once there's a relationship, that kind of changes. And it's an interesting one. But that's once the relationship is built, right? Because then complaining might come in, but it's like, we're already cool. Like, you already, like, you just want to complain to complain. It's like session banter, we'll call it. You know what I mean? Like, I have to do this just for the sake of doing it. You're like, all right, it's funny, it's cool. But it's more like in that discovery of a person. Like, are they playing victim? Are they taking accountability? What stories they might be sharing. It's kind of like there's always like I can't think of any keywords off the top of my head, but when you listen to someone talk, and I know you know what I mean, and I know you want me to share it from my perspective for the viewer. But there's gonna be little things, and most people in a conversation, like a word stands out or a phrase where you're like, ooh, I've heard that before. I don't align with that, or ooh, that I do align with, or like some people will come in, they're like, I trust whatever you say. We already, like, I've met you a few times. We've had some conversations. You helped me before. Like, whatever it is, it is. Like, I'm not even, like, spare me the, like, whatever. Like, let's just do this. You know what I mean? And I've had that. That happened to me yesterday. It happened to me yesterday. Someone that I've never coached personally, privately. Someone that I've helped from a education perspective, like, help them tweak their diet a little bit here and there. Just kind of share my thoughts on, like, their body composition as it's changed over time. And now when this person decided they wanted to pursue training, like they came to me without hesitation, and it's just like, I already know this person's going to be a good fit because we have a relationship, and I've listened to this person talk, and I've given them advice. They've taken the advice, they've used it, they applied it, it worked, right? We talked about reading and applying. It's the same thing. Like if I give you stuff and you apply it, that lets me know like we'll be a good fit. You know what I mean? That shows that you trust what I say and you see the value that I'm offering, and it's like a no-brainer.
Got it.
That literally happened yesterday.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, planting seeds.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
You used to be called Mean Naeem back in the day.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That is absolutely true. I can't believe I haven't told you that. That's true.
Yeah, because your full name is Naeem.
That is correct.
Right?
And when you spell it backwards, it's mean with 2 E's. That's oh, see, that part you didn't know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I forgot. It's just elementary school. Now, it wasn't the spelling part that I was kind of mean back then, maybe. You know what I mean? It just so happened that my name spelled backwards is that word too. So someone decided that that's what I was going to be.
I bring that up because I do know the story a little bit, and I know where you are now. And then I'm like, what? People called you that? That's crazy. And you did tell me that you used to be mean. Like you're kind of a dickhead before.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I don't really see you as a dickhead. I know that we can all be dicks sometimes.
100%.
You know?
And like the truth is, like reflecting back now, that was definitely just from a place of insecurity. And also I feel like just childlike play where like in my mind, like being mean was like how we be playful, right? But part of it was also like a big part of it was still also insecurity. Like this is how I'm getting back or whatever it is gonna make me feel like now I'm equal because I felt like under or whatever it was. And it took, reflection to be like, wow, all these people really do like, if this is like how people perceive me, like maybe something's got to change a little bit, you know what I mean? But that was an elementary nickname. It's funny.
And are you aware of how much you've transformed since back then till now?
Absolutely, man. Even from like a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years. You're talking about elementary. Like a lot of it's the same, and a lot of it's different, right? And let's forget same and different. Evolved, right? Mm-hmm. That goes into like awareness and a willingness to learn, because we come with stuff, right? Like we talked about, everyone comes with shit. We don't We don't choose our parents' circumstances, and they don't choose their circumstances, and we just kind of like we're all just living life in the reality that we've been given and the cards that we've been dealt, and everyone's for the most part is trying their best. That we may not be able to see that all the time. And I remember like watching my own parents, you know what I mean? Like at one point, even with like my father, like realizing I was holding him to something that might have been unfair because like I just only saw him as his way, and then like seeing him interact with his dad, I was like, I was not even like considering that, you know, which made me feel inconsiderate. I'm like, oh, dude, like he's dealing with that, I'm dealing with him, and it's all good. Like it neutralized something for me, like big time, and it was unfortunately like on my grandfather's like deathbed. But I was like, oh shit, like I'm making this about me, and like it's not. Like I want it to be about me, right? Because it's a relationship with my father, but it's so much deeper than that, right? And that's like a very specific example that I don't really share very often, but that is the truth. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, yeah. Everyone's just dealing with life. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
If you can have a shot, like if you could have another profession other than the profession that you're in now,
Mm-hmm.
before you are gone, the physical body's gone.
Yeah.
Right. What would you do? What else would you do? Like what do you want to try? Not to say that you will, but let's say you do give it a shot. What would that be?
I'm always open to entrepreneurship in any form or fashion, right? So if that means creating something, building something that feels purpose driven, I'm open to it, right? And that I leave it open to anything because I really am open to anything as long as it's like down the path of entrepreneurship. Outside of something like that, and it wouldn't even have to be health and fitness related, I'm open to that, but I'm actually more averse because of all that I do know. Like I'd rather just do what I do now and like do it at the highest level. And if I pursue a business, maybe in something else where again it could feel purpose driven. And to go even deeper, man, like I have clients who inquire about the type of ideas I have, and I know it's because they see that there's potential, and these are like, you know, successful entrepreneurs that like they're always looking for the next opportunity in business. And I have, you know, one client who's kind of in the health sector to a certain degree, and he's always kind of like picking at my brain, and I'm like, I almost wish I had a great idea to be like, hey man, like here it is, like let's do it, you know what I mean? I don't have that idea right now, but entrepreneurship would be the first and foremost. Outside of that, the only other thing that has intrigued me or I've had certainty around like I would do this outside of coaching, and it's kind of crazy, would be firefighting. Like, and that's just something that has always intrigued me because of like the chaos of it, like the controlled chaos to a certain degree, and you're also serving people, and it's an opportunity to like, you know, build a legacy. But that's like something that I've always just being a coach been open to, like if that presented itself. But business is certainly number one.
Got it.
Ceilings, no ceilings when it comes to business. You know what I mean?
Ceilings.
Yeah.
You mentioned controlled chaos.
Yeah.
You like controlled chaos.
Absolutely.
And I see controlled chaos as, well, not as, but what I mean is you love house music. You love going to festivals.
Yeah.
You love having a good time
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah.
You've been in relationships where it's been kind of spicy and kind of crazy a little bit.
A little bit.
And I think that I could relate to this because I'm drawn to powerful people. Like my girlfriend, Angie, you know,
Cool.
she's very powerful.
Very.
She's spicy.
Very.
Right? And
Respectfully with love.
and there's a love that I have for controlled chaos too. Like I love to have a good time.
For sure.
I like to kind of dance on the brink of
Yeah.
like fucking life or death. Not literally, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I like to play with fire.
You gotta dance on the line sometimes. You gotta live a little.
What is that for you? Like, why do you like controlled chaos? And give me some other examples that I didn't list right now of what that looks
Why
like.
do I like controlled chaos? I think. Why do I like it? I think it's almost like the perfect anomaly, right? Because we're like that is the definition of an oxymoron. It's like control and chaos. They're literally the opposite. So you're taking two things on the opposite side of the spectrum, and you're kind of like bringing it into the middle, right? So it's like you're taking two extremes and you're creating balance. I've never even thought of it like that, but like that's what comes to mind. And other examples of controlled chaos. Yeah, I like going to like festivals for sure, checking out DJs, music. I mean, live music is always going to be something that has a place for me coming from a music background, whether it's house music or jazz music. Last night, after watching you on basketball, I strolled into Titanic, and there was like a jazz band in there, so I hung out for like 15 minutes to check it out. Other things of controlled chaos, let's see, would be like a competition. Competition. CrossFit competition, a high rocks, a race, whatever it is. Like, it's a little chaotic, right? And you could talk about the chaos in the outcome of like a race, or chaos in the process of building up to that, right? And it's like, it's chaotic, but you need to have some control over that. You need to have you need to have a plan. You need to have discipline. You need to like do the things, right? And then like one other example has always been like when I teach a group class and there's 30 people in front of me, like you're controlling chaos because you're in charge of 30 people, keeping them safe, but first and foremost safe, but then also providing them an experience that they're gonna enjoy, right? It's gonna be safe. They're gonna enjoy it. They're gonna get better, and that's it's not simple. It's a challenge, but a challenge that I took on first when I was first into coaching, when it came to like group coaching CrossFit, and that's when I was first realized I was like, ooh, like this is really chaotic, and I love being essentially like the puppet, like just kind of like playing these strings and keeping everything tight and like in order, but fun and enjoyable. And it's like, hey, like I did that, you know what I mean? Like, and that's there's value and a lot of joy in doing something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd have to say for myself, I love the feeling of being alive.
Oh, yeah.
And controlled chaos.
Yeah.
Well, whether it's controlled or not, the chaos.
Yeah.
you definitely feel alive in that moment.
Yeah. I'll give one more example actually too, because we talked a little bit about the catering. In the process of starting a catering business, I worked in kitchens part-time. And sometimes that's controlled chaos. The tickets are coming in, stuff's happening really fast, and it's like there's communication, and like one little hiccup like slows everything down, and it's like it's actually a really cool experience in the middle of like a fire when everything is just running smoothly. Like the kitchen's like not figuratively on fire, but like the ship's going down, but we're gonna keep it afloat as long as we can. And like there's control, but there's chaos, and we're all working together, and it's like you feel like you're like dancing the line, like it's you feel alive. Just like you said, the best word is like you feel alive. You feel alive. That's like even the last one I'll share is like control chaos, feeling alive. Feeling alive makes me think about like doing a hard freaking workout, like hard fucking workout. Today I had intervals and I was running around Ponce, your building, and like pain and just like hurting and like pushing through, like that feeling of alive. Like there's nothing like it, and that's something that I'm also constantly like pursuing in the form of discomfort.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
What's been your biggest your biggest struggle in life? Could be anything.
Myself. The biggest thing that holds herself back is myself, and it's like it's double-sided, right? Like I've also been able to come as far as I have because of myself, but anything that I'm the one who holds myself back the most, more than anything. You know what I mean? Like we tend to always be that person that'll like kind of limit ourselves the more than the outside, kind of like, because again we make it about us, right? So like I would say me limit, yeah. That's what kind of comes to mind.
I would say for myself, my biggest struggle has been more so in the past. I think I have a really good control over it now, but my coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
What comes up for you?
I mean, same. The same. Yeah. Like how we cope, that's definitely, it could be healthy, it could be unhealthy. And that we'll go back to like dancing that line. You know what I mean? Like I'm great at that. And that's been a constant. I definitely have the most control that I've ever had of my life in that regard. But the reality is like being like loving that chaos and liking dancing that line, how we cope with issues in our life can be a slippery slope, right? We talked about highs and lows, and the truth is a lot of my lows was my inability to cope healthily. And all it takes is a moment, and like you make a couple bad decisions and everything changes, you know what I mean? So learning and rehearsing how to cope, definitely, yeah. I mean, that's true.
Like, so what I'm specifically talking about with coping mechanisms is like using drugs, alcohol, like I used to love to party. That part of me is still in there.
Of course.
It
doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away, but I know how to feed those demons. I know how to feed that beast now. And I have never felt more alive than I do today from being and staying away from all of those substances now for over 2 years.
Yep. No, I was going to say it's very obvious. And I think, I mean, I'm sure it's been reflected back to you. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's very obvious. I've known you for a long time, and it's obvious.
Yeah, it's crazy because I didn't think that I could feel alive being like abstinent from those things because like I felt alive being under the influence, but I didn't realize that I was drowning out a bunch of things that I was resisting and shoving away.
Yeah.
Like the whole being able to turn off all the emotions, like all of those got pushed down because a lot of it I didn't deal with back in the day, and so all of it would be it would come up when I was normal, like alive now I am, but then I would mask it with drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, and they would just push them back down, and then they would just come right back up later on.
Yeah.
But I could never picture myself, like I thought that was feeling alive, and then now I'm on the other side.
Understood.
This is feeling alive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anyone who likes to have a good time like that, you know that it's a false sense of alive, right? Like it just feels good in the moment. And we know what's up, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's like a false sense. And anyone who has an obsessive personality understands the gravitas of that, like the weight that it carries, right? Because if you truly do have an obsessive personality, you're aware that, like we just said, like it's always going to be there, right? It's never gone forever. You can learn how to harness it. You can learn how to hone it. You could be sober for 20, 30, 40 years. And sometimes people still, like, you know, it takes a moment. You can relapse for whatever it is. But it's that feeling. It goes back to like that feeling alive. So what the idea is like, and this is something we've talked about plenty of times. It's like, how do you take that desire to feel alive and transform it in other ways, right? Through purpose, through, you know, vision, whatever it is you're looking to create and accomplish. It's like, and that has to be so almost like extreme high up there. That's like, man, you want it so bad, but it has to be so big, like so much bigger than you, for you to like constantly be going back to like whatever that great big vision of yours is. And that's a, you know, something that we're all always trying to figure out, right? Because it transforms.
Yeah.
One day it's like you want to do this, and then a couple of years later, like that transforms into something bigger, and it's like, but how do you hold that like that big vision above you, so that you can feel alive pursuing that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like having something, like knowing what you will never put up with again in life, seeing what, like, I can't stand this to happen in my reality. I don't want to see other people go through whatever that is, right? For me, there's several things that I don't want to experience. Not that I'm trying to avoid experiencing, because I have experienced certain stuff. Let's just say, I'll give an example. People who are being controlled by manipulators, or people who are being suppressed, right? So I love freedom. I'm in love with freedom, and I'm in love with independence and independent thinking, and that's something I take a hard stand for.
Yeah.
And that's something that, I mean, this is why I'm doing the work that I do,
Yeah.
right? So like, that is clearly happening in all parts of the world, where people are being suppressed and degraded and pushed down and whatnot. Obviously, there's an equal counterpart to that, where there's a lot of people being free and living free who don't even really see these things or experience these things. So I think it really does come down to consciousness, you know? So, but there's a lot of people who dance in both sides, but they keep getting pulled into one side, right? Obviously, that's coming from my own personal experience, where I've danced on both sides and I couldn't get away from the dark side, and not realizing that I had to go full all into the dark side to really know my dark side, to then break free of that. And that's why I do the work that I do, because I see so many people in pain and struggling because they're not willing to dance with their darkness, right? And so that tight, close emotion that I have with that part of myself is feeding the vision at all times. So I don't know if you were asking me a question or if it was more rhetorical, but like, how do we bring that in together?
No, it was rhetorical. It's just like that was my perception of it, but that's good. I mean, like that you're talking about the gap and like the bridge from here to that, right? And like that's the aliveness. That's the aliveness that we're looking for. And you mentioned also like being fully capable of dancing with your darkness and not avoiding it, and that's typically what we try to do. We suppress it, and it's kind of like, but acknowledging it, like looking it head on, and like just kind of facing it, and doing the work, right? Like that's what, in my experience, and what I've learned too, the best practice, we'll call it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So, what is one habit that you have implemented in the last several years that has made a major shift in your life?
Prayer.
Prayer. That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. And so we could like it could be used synonymously as meditate, which I did for a long time. But for me now, it's like two separate. It can be used synonymously, but it's two separate actions, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? But for me, prayer. Yeah.
That's awesome. How has it shaped or reshaped you and transformed you?
It works.
Mm. You pray every day?
Almost. Like I have a strong practice. And it's not always perfect, but I treat it as like, so my perception of it with my relationship with faith is easy for me to compare with fitness. So when I'm feeling not really wanting to and everything like that, it's easy for me to like lean on my discipline and think about fitness has done this for me, faith will do this for me. And my faith is transformed because like you talked about spiritual awakenings, and a lot of like that started from 2018 for me, where it's like, oh, like I started to connect it to my spirit, because of my physical I felt good about, my emotional I felt good about, my mental I felt good about, but the spirit I wasn't really connected to, and it's something that's been a constant evolution for me. But prayer certainly has been like transformative, like major. It's a little bit in the morning, a little bit at night on most days. You know what I mean? Before bed, and when I rise. Truthfully, right now it's like on my way here. That's when I do my morning prayer. But yeah, transformative.
That's awesome, dude.
Big time.
So a few more questions here before we tighten things up.
Yep.
What are, you don't have to go into a deep explanation, but just to kind of create some insight into you, to be vulnerable.
Okay.
What are 3 weaknesses that you have?
What are 3 weaknesses that I have? I'll use coping as one. It can be a weakness. It's a relationship that we're always managing. I feel really good about my ability to cope now. Another weakness would be, I'm not even sure if this is a weakness, but I think about this a lot. And I'd rather dance on this line. So we talked about dancing on lines. Overconfidence and confidence. Like that's something that's kind of been showing up. You know what I mean? And that's me being completely like, that's more recent for me. And it's always kind of been there, but I'm okay with the fact that I might be a little overconfident sometimes and under, because for a lot of my life I was underconfident. You know what I mean? So if this is the adjustment and the readjust, like I'll deal with the repercussions. You know what I mean? That's cool. It's fine. That and okay, one more. I'd probably overshare. I don't know if that's a weakness. I think it could go both ways too. You know what I mean? I'm just like an open book sometimes, and maybe I share too much, but it's just a part of who I am, so I just own it. And if that's gonna change how someone, perceives me or my relationship with them, that's fine. Like I'll deal with that later. You know what I mean? So a little bit of overconfidence, a little bit of oversharing, but I'm also aware, and that those are parts of me that I own. And it's just like dancing the line. Sometimes you gotta maybe pull it back a little bit, but I'm gonna tiptoe the line. Just who I am.
And 3 strengths.
3 strengths. My ability to connect with people. My willingness to share and help. Like I really do find joy in seeing other people win. Like I really do. I believe there's enough for everybody everywhere. So like I love to see other people win. It doesn't have any negative effect on me. Like it really does make me happy. It may motivate me. It may make me want to do better. But if there's any way I can help someone else win, and it's something that I'm being intentional about here, whether it's clients or friends or coworkers or members, like I really do find joy in that. And then the third one, seeing others win. I would say being a good friend. Like I have really strong relationships that mean the world to me. Like my homies, you, like people, like clients, all of it, all the people that I get to connect with and like share deeply. It's like that fuels me every day, every single day. Without that, like I wouldn't find the same purpose and joy in what I do whatsoever.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, last question here. If there was one person that your message can touch, like one type of person, out in the world that this message, that you have a message for, that you want this message to touch, that you want this message to get in front of, who would that person be, or that type of person?
The person who doesn't feel good enough. Person like that feels unworthy, the person that's like lacking purpose, and there's uncertainty in their life, and a lot of people struggle with this, and it's, you know, something that I've seen for a long time now. We can all have it, you know what I mean? And it starts with us, and your mind, your emotions, your physical body, all of it, you know? And you can have whatever you want. So it's like, if you don't feel confident, if you don't feel worthy, if you don't feel like it's for you because of whatever your story is, like, it is. Mm-hmm. It is. So that's, to that person, if that's who you are, like, trust.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so where can people find you, and where can people hire you?
Ooh.
Like, how do they get in touch with you to work with you, to get intro into fitness?
For sure.
But also, where can they find you on social?
Yeah, so social, I was about to say Facebook, that's crazy. Social, IG, Nemo Bacchus, Nemo, last name Bacchus, Bacc, like Charlie, Hus. Lifetime Coral Gables. I'm here Monday through Saturday. If you're a member or a prospective member, we can get you in on a tour if you're not a member. If you are a member, come check me out on the 3rd floor. You can book through the app. You can reach out. There's cards at the desk. Like, you'll see me here if you're here. I'm always willing to help when I'm not with clients. When I'm with clients, preferably don't bother me. It's a bad habit for people. But yeah, social, IG, Coral Gables, Lifetime, all day, every day.
Beautiful, bro.
Yeah,
any parting words on your end?
And you said again?
Any parting words on your end?
Any parting words? I'm trying to be. Let's see if I can give some philosophy right now. Okay, here's what we'll do. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. And knock and the door will be open to you.
What does that mean to you?
Everything.
The secret to life?
One of them. Yeah, ask and you shall receive.
That's, yeah, I believe in that heavily. And I always say this, what you want wants you.
Yeah, ask and you shall receive.
Mm-hmm. My brother, I really appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
That was good.
That was crispy.
That was really good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you for coming in and having this conversation with me, man.
Anytime, every time, all the time. This is not our first one. This definitely won't be the last one.
Yeah, and as we know, there is no motherfucking ceiling.
There's no ceilings.
Boom.